Ouais, n'avance pas s'il te plaît. Il n'y a personne.
C'est sur la gauche.
Good evening, gentlemen, and a few of you ladies that may be listening. This is Spiritual Art of War, back at it again with another episode. And this time we're going to talk about whether or not there's any such thing as recycled men. No, there isn't. There isn't anything such thing as recycled men. And the reason why is because the men that we were talking about in regards to the professional athletes and entertainers in the last video, we're talking about men that have a large pool of selection to choose from in regards to women. And the discussion in that particular episode was about them selecting from a handful of women that have already been linked to other high-profile men. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people that try and use the same standard for men as it is for women, they have a lack of understanding of the yin and the yang between the male and female, right? Because the thing about it is, when you look at how women pursue men, they have something called mate choice copying. Many men have seen this, unless you've never paid attention to your own situation. But if you've ever been in a relationship with a girl and you go out in public, or you're maybe even in the same social setting, maybe you're in college and you get a girlfriend, and then after it's known that you have a girlfriend, all of a sudden women that were not interested in you, that you walked by, went to the same classes, saw in the same, cafeteria, they are now pursuing or interested in you or flirting with you. Okay? And women do this a lot. This is one of the reasons why a lot of women really don't like to have they have certain friends that they know do this, right? So, for example, women know this is one of the reasons why a lot of women fall out with each other. A woman will be pursuing a particular man, start dating him, and then her friend will then start to find him attractive as well. And then that leads to issues because women liked what other women like. So if they see a woman liking a particular man, they try and figure out, why does she like him? What does she see in him? Men are not like that. Men don't need another man to tell a man that a woman is attractive. Men make their own decision. We don't got to go around and say, what do you think about her? Do you think she's attractive? Men don't do that. Men don't do that. Men already make the decision that they find a particular woman attractive or appealing, and then they pursue. Women, they'll actually need group consensus. They have a hive mind. It's very rare that a woman will get into a relationship or even pursue a man without a consensus from a friend, especially if it's looking for dates. Now, what she'll do is, let's say there's a man that she's iffy on, because a lot of times a woman might need to have very high attraction to you in order for her not to ask, her friend what she thinks. So, for example, if a man is already solidified, he has status, he has money, he's an NBA player or whatever, right? Like Klay Thompson. Women will not go around and ask their friends, what do you think? Should I talk to Klay Thompson or not? They're not going to do that. But if you're an average guy, a guy that does not have clout, does not have money, or you're not exceptionally attractive, meaning exceptional, I'm talking about exceptional, I'm talking about top 5% in attraction among men. And this is actually proven by studies with dating apps, that in dating apps, women pursue the top 5% of men. Okay? So if you're not King 6'8", the great type level dude, then you're probably going to have to raise interest, or there's going to have to be something about you that a woman likes, that to where she views you at that level, right? Maybe there's something about the way you walk. Maybe it's something about the way you dress. Maybe it's your stature. Maybe it's your physique, okay? Maybe you have a nice smile. There might be something that triggers her to where she likes that particular thing in you, okay? Outside of looks, it could just be your status. You might have walked into the room and you might have had a white coat, a doctor's coat on. We know that women pay attention to these type of social cues. If a man walks into a Starbucks, into any major city, and he's wearing a white coat, he's wearing the doctor's uniform, okay, and he's going to go pick up his Starbucks, women are turning and they're checking him out. And the reason why they're doing that, because they are interested in the status, meaning an average looking man can be a quote unquote considered, you know, let's say a 5. Women actually don't even really scale men based off of numbers. It's really, do they find him attractive or not? They're very binary in their approach. Either they find him attractive or they don't find him attractive. They don't really scale up. But we know that when we as men try and calculate interest, we calculate interest based off of a barometer. We're going to scale it and say that this woman finds you to be about a 6. So that's the reason why she's not calling you back. She might find you cool. She might find you somewhat to be pleasant, but you gave her your number. Y'all exchanged numbers, and she's flaking on the date. You know why she's flaking on the date? Because she does not find you to be super attractive. Because she ain't flaking with Drake. Oh, she's anything she had planned. If Drake says he's leaving Houston and he's gonna be gone to do a shows out there in the UK, and she knows she only has this one night to see him, it don't matter what she had planned. She could be having a plan to go out on a date with her boyfriend. She canceling that. She could have had planned to take her child out to go get some ice cream. She canceling that. She could have it could have been girls' night out with the girls. She canceling that because of high interest. So a man, now that's why I'm segueing to a guy like Drake. For you that are in the comments, is Drake recycled? Because if Drake is recycled, that means that there should be a lesser amount of women interested in him. There's not a group of small women, right, that are rotating him around. Women don't do that. Women don't be like, hey, girl, I got with Marcus. You should get with him next. He ain't nothing but something to ride on. Women ain't doing that. Women ain't passing around a man or saying, I don't care about this particular guy. You can go get with him too. They don't do that. Men do that. There's men that are in the world that there'll be a particular female that they've already laid with, they've already had sex with, and they don't have no care for her. And they will literally be like, they'll literally tell their friend and be like, yo, she for the go. She for the play. Yo, you should not, I knocked her down last week, man. If you want her, you can go ahead and holler at her too. That's how you hear about these women getting ran through in neighborhoods. They call them the neighborhood bicycle. You see, y'all trying to equate the neighborhood bicycle that everybody takes a ride on to community peeing. Y'all think it's the same equivalent. It's not the same. The guy who is community peeing is a guy that is highly sought after by the females in that community. And those women will even fight each other over that particular man. They will go fight. You've seen videos about women fighting over community peeing. But when it comes to a floozy, a ran through chick, dudes is just knowing this girl is for everybody. That's the saying. Y'all heard about that saying. They for everybody. Y'all say, oh, he's for everybody. Wait, he's for everybody. Remember that women have to consent to sex. And men cannot override a woman's consent or lack thereof. Men cannot override if a woman says no. So that means that all the control when it comes to actual sexual access, the gatekeepers of sexual access is the woman. So if a man is able to go through different women who are consenting to have sex with him, he cannot necessarily be recycled. That actually shows you that he's highly valued. Okay? It's a very big difference. There's a reason why Future has 8 children with 8 different women. You got Nick Cannon with 12 children with 6 different women. And they're not stopping. These women are having their first children with Nick Cannon. You got women out there, these same women, if you go through the list of like the woman that Nick Cannon got with, a lot of these women were models, Of course, his first, child's mother, the two, Rock and Roll, that he had, the twins, the boy and the girl that he had with Mariah Carey. Then he went through a whole slew of model type females and had their kids. And these were women that had access to other men with money. In fact, one of them, it was the former girlfriend of Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel made like 20-something, $30 million in the NFL before he didn't get re-upped. So he made his bread. They broke up. But she had access to these different types of men that were in that industry. Just like Lanisha Nicole's another one. So when you talk about recycled men, these women don't understand, because what it is with modern women hate when the mirror is put to their face and they see exactly who they really are and how they really act when it comes to certain men. So there is no such thing as recycled men. Okay? Those men are the ones that are valuable to the woman that they're dealing with, because they are consenting and they know. In fact, I would tell you this, and I've never seen it from all the way from high school to college to even the workplace and to outside in the real world. I've never seen a guy that has been known to get a lot of women get less women. I've never seen it. Whenever a man is known to be a player, known to get a lot of women, and to be running through a lot of women, I've seen women's eyes light up when that guy walks into the room, and they know this guy's running through that. That's why some of these girls, they friends. I've seen guys walk in, and it'd be known that 3 to 5 girls at that table, he done ran through. Look at guys like Slim Thug. Slim Thug will even let you know he done smashed all the baddest chicks in Houston. Okay? You got guys like, you could go down the list. I mean, you can look at Dan Blizerian. Look him up. Dan Blizerian. This man is known to be a whoremonger of a high level. This man will be going out traveling. He'll be on boats with 20 different women. And he done slept with all of them. He has had whole interviews where he's talked about living the Playboy lifestyle, where women know that he got a mansion out there in Vegas. He got 10 women living with him. And then he'll still have women that are engaged and married hitting him up in a DM, seeing him at a club or at a party. Sometimes they have these private parties where you have these celebrities. They'll throw these private parties in Vegas where he is stationed at, and they'll come through and they'll be at the party. They know he got 10, 12 chicks with him, and these women will be married, boyfriends, engaged, and they will sleep with him. And then their boyfriends and husbands and fiancés will be blowing up their phone while he's laying with them. And then he realized after the fact that they had one. He's seen women that he slept with a month later pop up on IG married. So this woman was engaged. You see her IG, boom. He knew he hit her the month before, and he still was able to get at her while she was in a relationship. Women do that all the time, and they do that with men that have pre-selection qualities, meaning they're already selected. You already know he's a playboy. You already know he gets a lot of hot women, and then it drives up your interest. Your interest increases because of that, because he has social proof that he gets women. And that's the reason why there's a very big difference. Women across the board, and we've seen it in interviews. You can see it on Fresh and Fit when they ask these women what kind of men they want. They do the calculator. You've seen it with Kevin Samuels, where these women all said that they want these men that were making 6 figures, that are 6 feet tall, all this stuff. And these women expect these men to settle for them. And here's the thing. These women know intrinsically that these men have plenty of options and they probably been exercising them in the dating market, especially in the modern dating market, where women are basically for the choosing or the pick of the litter for men that are considered at that level. So they know what that comes with, and they're fine with that, because in the end of the day, a woman wants to know that she tamed the beast. That's why a lot of these women do not like men that have no motion with no woman. If in their eyes, if a man says that he's single, he ain't talking to nobody, he ain't got no woman, they don't like it, man. I'm telling you, they don't like it. They frown, especially if a woman found you attractive. If a woman found you attractive and then you exchange numbers with her and you tell her that you don't got no woman in your rotation, that you are as single as a dollar bill, I'm telling you, that interest gonna fall like a rock in the ocean. Okay? I'm telling you. Because women want to know that another woman likes you too. And if another woman does not like you, she's going to ask herself, why is she with you to begin with? Okay? So there is no such thing as recycled men. Those are men that you are interested in. And that's the hard, cold facts. That's the hard, cold reality that a lot of women struggle with, because they know that the way it sounds, it makes them look crazy, but this is your nature, okay? Because if it wasn't your nature, you would go to the local church. There's plenty of men. You can look up the stats. Male virginity is pretty much damn near the all-time high. Men are going later into life as virgins than before. Before, you had a lot of virgins before the sexual revolution. You had men that were getting married at a high rate, and they were getting married between 17 to like 22. The average age of marriage for a man like 50, 60 years ago was like 23, 24 years old. The average age of marriage for a woman was like 19, 20, 21. So, but now you got lower marriage. You got women who are putting themselves towards a smaller selection of men. There are also increasingly more women that are also lesbians. And then you have a larger pool of men that are lasting longer in their virginity. And I'm telling you right now, you women are not going to these local churches where you got the 22-year-old college graduate who's still a virgin, because they exist in large numbers, way more than y'all females do. Okay, there's way more male virgins under the age of 30 than female virgins, but y'all are not knocking down. Y'all don't want those men. Those are new men. Since you think men that are sleeping with a lot of women are recycled, those are new, fresh, unbroken, sealed men. These men don't even know what it's like to lay with a woman. These guys is in some of these mosques out here, especially in Houston. You got Pakistani men that are virgins. You got Indian men that are virgins. You got black, white men that are virgins. They go into these local churches. They focusing on college, and they going and singing in the choir, and they showing up to Bible study on Wednesday. They showing up to church on Sunday, and you don't want them. And you know this. So again, don't come here trying to gaslight, trying to act as if you are not into what you're into. We have the whole cold hard data, the facts, numbers don't lie. Okay? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. All right, so let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
I get my first drink, and some man comes up to me and he says, "Hey, do you guys want to meet Dan Blizerian?" And I was like, okay.
And you knew who he was?
I did know who he was, yeah. I went up and met him, and he said, "I like the way you jiggle." And I was like, okay. And I was 23, so, it doesn't really take much to be
That's the
flatter.
opening line.
Yeah. I said, "This is what the real thing looks like." Like, that's exactly what I said.
And it's on.
Then it was on.